the Disobedient Children, and the Lion. Long ago, in a quiet African village, surrounded by tall trees, rolling hills, and the songs of birds at dawn, there lived a poor widow and her 3 children. They were a small but happy family. The mother worked hard to provide food for her little ones, tending to a small farm by day and weaving mats by night. Though life was not easy, she cherished her children deeply and taught them the ways of wisdom, patience, and obedience. One day, as the sun rose and painted the sky with shades of gold, the mother prepared to leave for the market. She tied her wrapper firmly around her waist, picked up her basket, and called her children to her side. With a serious look in her eyes, she gave them a warning they had heard many times before. "My children, while I am away, do not open this door to anyone. Not to neighbors, not to strangers, and not even to a voice that sounds like mine. You must wait until I return. Only then will I knock 3 times and call your names the way you know me to do. Do not forget this." The children nodded in agreement. They promised their mother that they would obey. Their little hearts knew that she spoke out of love and concern, for dangers often lurked in the forest. Among those dangers was a cunning lion, a beast feared by everyone in the land. This lion had grown tired of chasing antelopes and zebras. Instead, he had discovered that humans, especially children, were easier prey if he could trick them. After kissing her children goodbye, the mother stepped out into the sunlight and walked down the dusty road toward the market. She sang softly as she went, her voice fading in the distance until it could no longer be heard. The children sat together in their hut, playing and laughing at first. Hours passed slowly, and soon hunger began to gnaw at their bellies. The eldest child tried to keep everyone calm, reminding them of their mother's instructions. But outside, in the shadows of the forest, the lion was already planning his wicked trick. The lion had overheard the mother's warning earlier. His sharp ears had caught every word, and his cunning mind began to plot. He knew that the children were obedient, but he also knew that curiosity and hunger could make them weak. So he waited until the sun was high, then crept out of the forest and approached their hut. With his deep voice, he tried to sound gentle, calling out, "My children, it is I, your mother. Open the door, for I have returned from the market with food for you." The children froze when they heard the voice. The eldest shook his head and whispered, "That is not mother's voice. It is too deep, too rough." They refused to open the door. Frustrated, the lion went away. But he was not done. He thought to himself, "If they do not believe my voice, I shall change it. I will make it soft like the mother's." He went to a herbalist in the forest and begged for honey to soothe his throat. After swallowing the honey, his voice became smoother and sweeter. He returned to the hut and called again, "My children, it is I, your mother. Open the door, for I have brought back groundnuts and sweet fruits." The younger children jumped with excitement, for the voice now sounded almost like their mother's. But the eldest child remained suspicious. "Wait," he said firmly. "Let us ask her to show us her hand through the window." The lion stretched out his paw, but it was large, hairy, and covered with sharp claws. The children gasped in fear. "That is not mother's hand," they cried. They refused to open the door once more. The lion growled angrily and retreated into the forest. He thought and thought. Then he had another idea. He went to a blacksmith and dipped his paw into white flour, making it appear soft and pale like a human hand. When he returned to the hut and pushed it through the window, the children saw it and began to doubt. This time, the eldest was uneasy, but the younger ones were too excited. Hunger was eating at them, and the lion's voice was now convincing. Despite their brother's warnings, the younger children whispered, "It must be mother. She has returned with food." At last, their obedience wavered. They disobeyed their mother's strict command and opened the door. The door creaked wide, and before they could react, the lion sprang inside with a terrifying roar. His golden eyes glowed with hunger, and his sharp teeth flashed like knives. The children screamed, but it was too late. The beast pounced on them, devouring one after another. Their cries echoed through the hut and into the forest, but no one came in time to save them. When the mother returned from the market hours later, she carried baskets of yams and fruits, humming as she walked. But as she approached her hut, she felt a heavy silence in the air. No laughter, no chatter, no eager little footsteps rushing to greet her. Her heart sank. She knocked 3 times and called their names the way she always did. No one answered. Fear gripped her chest. She pushed open the door and stepped inside. What she saw broke her heart into pieces. The floor was stained, the hut was in disarray, and her beloved children were gone. She wailed bitterly, crying out to the heavens, "Oh, my children, why did you not listen? Why did you open the door?" The villagers heard her cries and gathered around. They too mourned, for they knew the lion had struck again. From that day on, the story of the disobedient children was told from mouth to mouth, passed down through generations as a warning. Parents reminded their children never to disobey, never to open the door to strangers, and always to remember the wisdom of their elders. And so, under the African moonlight, this tale lives on. It is a tale of obedience, of caution, and of love. A tale that teaches that every instruction given in love is meant for protection. The children's disobedience cost them their lives, but their story continues to protect many others who hear it.